A 150-pound brindle Cane Corso sat in the same concrete shelter kennel for 631 days. He'd been returned 4 times, labeled unadoptable, scheduled to be removed from the adoption floor at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday, and at 3:42 p.m. that same afternoon, a 36-year-old woman walked through the front door with empty eyes, a child car seat still buckled in the back of her SUV, and a grief so heavy the staff could feel it before she said a single word. What she did next broke every single person in that building. Her name was Marisa Kent. She was 36 years old. 11 months ago, she had been a mother. She had a daughter named Nora who was almost 4, who used to laugh so hard she would fall over sideways, who used to sleep with a stuffed elephant named Peanut, and who was taken from Marisa one summer morning by a sudden illness that nobody had seen coming. 11 months and 6 days ago, Marisa Kent had stopped speaking above a whisper. She still had not taken the car seat out of the back of her SUV. She couldn't. Her hands wouldn't let her. Her therapist had suggested a dog. Her mother had suggested a dog. Her sister had driven 400 miles to beg her to get a dog. Marisa had said no to all of them for 11 months, until a Tuesday afternoon in October when she got in her car for no reason at all and she drove 47 minutes to a county shelter on the edge of town because she didn't know where else to go. The shelter manager, a woman named Deborah who had worked there for 19 years, knew a grieving person when she saw one. She didn't offer Marisa the puppies. She didn't offer the friendly golden retrievers. She walked her straight to the back of the building, to Kennel 7, where a 150-pound brindle Cane Corso named Bruno sat pressed against the back wall, head lowered, eyes tracking her without a single movement of his body. "He's been with us 631 days, Deborah said quietly, returned 4 times. The first family said he was too big, the second said he was too quiet, the third lasted 6 days before bringing him back, claiming he was broken, the fourth kept him for 2 weeks and then dropped him off at our night drop box without even signing the papers." Marisa didn't ask the question out loud, but Deborah answered it anyway. "He's scheduled to be removed from the adoption floor today at 5. Nobody's coming for him, Marisa." The clock on the wall read 3:42 p.m. Marisa knelt down in front of Kennel 7. Bruno didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't lift his head. His brindle coat was dull. There was a cloudy patch in his left eye, a jagged scar ran across his muzzle, and he had the look of a dog who had stopped hoping somewhere around return number 3. Marisa pressed her forehead against the cold metal bars. For the first time in 11 months and 6 days, she spoke above a whisper. "I'm still here," she told him. "I'm still here too." Bruno lifted his enormous head 3 inches off the concrete, and then, so slowly it took almost a full minute, he walked to the front of his kennel, and he pressed his scarred muzzle against the bars where Marisa's forehead was resting. He didn't bark, he didn't whine, he just breathed against her, warm and steady, like he was trying to remind her how. Marisa signed the adoption papers at 4:17 p.m. She paid $85. She walked Bruno out of that building 43 minutes before he was supposed to disappear forever. And then came the car ride, the part Marisa hadn't thought about until she opened the back of her SUV. The car seat was still there, still buckled, still facing forward. Purple fabric, crumbs in the cup holder, a small stuffed elephant tucked into the corner. She froze with Bruno's leash in her hand. 11 months of avoiding this exact moment hit her all at once, and her knees gave out in the shelter parking lot. I see you're still watching and haven't subscribed yet. Honestly, that breaks my heart a little. Hit subscribe now. You won't want to miss what Bruno does next. Bruno didn't move. He sat beside her on the asphalt, his 150-pound body pressed against her shoulder, and he waited. 6 full minutes. He waited until she stopped shaking. Then he did something Marisa will remember for the rest of her life. He stood up, walked to the back seat on his own, climbed onto the floorboard next to the car seat, and he rested his enormous brindle head on the purple fabric. Gently. Like he knew, like he had always known. Marisa cried in the driver's seat for 23 minutes before she turned the key. Bruno never lifted his head off that car seat the entire drive home. That's the moment that broke her, in the best possible way. For the first time in almost a year, she was not alone in that car. The first week at home was quiet. Bruno slept on the floor next to Marisa's bed. He ate slowly, like he was still expecting the bowl to be taken away. He watched her constantly, following her from room to room with the care of a dog who had already lost 4 families and had no intention of being sent back. Some stories deserve to be shared, and what Bruno did next deserves to be seen. 3 weeks in, Marisa opened the door of Nora's bedroom for the first time in 11 months. She had been standing outside it every day, never going in. The purple walls, the stuffed animals, the tiny shoes by the bed. Bruno walked in before she did. He did not sniff the bed, he did not touch anything. He walked straight to the center of the room, lay down on the small rug, and placed his enormous brindle head on the floor. He stayed there for 2 hours, while Marisa sat in the doorway and finally let herself cry the way she had needed to for almost a year. From that afternoon on, a routine began. Every evening at 8:30, Bruno would walk to Nora's bedroom, lie down on the rug, and wait for Marisa. She didn't have to go in, but he would always be there, guarding the room, guarding the memory, guarding her. Then came November 9th, the morning Marisa finally took the car seat out. Her hands shook. Bruno stood beside her in the driveway, 150 pounds of patient silence. She placed the car seat gently in the back of the garage. She closed the SUV door, she turned around, and Bruno licked her hand exactly 1 time. Then he walked to her side and pressed his scarred head against her hip. It was not an ending, it was a beginning. Today, 2 years later, Bruno is 8 years old. The cloudy patch in his left eye has stayed. The jagged scar on his muzzle has faded. Marisa still visits Nora's room every single night. And every single night, Bruno lies on the rug beside her, never once complaining, never once leaving. Marisa has started speaking at her normal volume again. She laughs sometimes. She even started painting again 4 months ago. There is a portrait on her easel of a brindle Cane Corso with cloudy eyes, sitting next to a purple car seat. Everyone told her that dog was broken, returned 4 times, unadoptable, finished. But sometimes, the broken ones are the only ones who know how to sit with grief without trying to fix it. Sometimes a dog who has been sent back 4 times understands what it means to keep waiting for someone who never comes. Sometimes 2 hearts that were written off by the world find each other 43 minutes before the deadline. And sometimes the saving works both ways. If you're thinking of adopting, remember this: the dogs labeled unadoptable are often the ones who have been waiting their whole lives for the exact person nobody thought to send them. Did Marisa rescue Bruno, or did Bruno rescue Marisa? Tell me in the comments.